Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dan on Sports. Well, there is a story in The Athletic involving the alleged betting scandal with Cleveland Guardians pitchers Emmanuel and Luis Ortiz. This latest story written by Zach Mizell and Mike Verkunov. Now, you might recall the two pitchers were suspended by MLB near the end of last season. So, what's at play here? The lawyer for Ortiz is claiming that he was duped by Clase, and he wants the cases tried separately. The cases are being tried in a Brooklyn court, and the attorney wants them tried separately. The attorney is Christos and Giorgalis. He claims Ortiz was, quote, a victim of Clase's scheme rather than a knowing and willing participant. Let me repeat that. He claims that Ortiz was, quote, a victim of Clase's scheme rather than a knowing and willing participant. And boy, this is taking on overtones of the 1919 Black Sox scandal. I'll get to that in just a moment. But anyway, the indictment, and they've been indicted, these two pitchers, and have been suspended by Major League Baseball, but the indictment accuses the two of allegedly rigging pitches to impact prop bets. And again, this story is in The Athletic, as court documents have been unsealed. They were unsealed on Monday, but it's in The Athletic. I'll link to the story, although it is behind a paywall. But anyway, let me repeat this. The indictment accuses the two of allegedly rigging pitches to impact prop bets. And apparently there were those who bet and won $460,000 on this. Both have pleaded not guilty. I need to emphasize this. They are allegations. Both have pleaded not guilty. Major League Baseball had promised disciplinary action by spring training, but no disciplinary action has been handed down yet. Now, this is fascinating to me because, as I said, this is reminiscent of the Black Sox scandal. If you look at the Black Sox scandal, where the White Sox allegedly, and I'm going to use allegedly here, threw the 1919 World Series to the Cincinnati Reds, when the case went to court, you got a similar situation where, for example, attorneys for shoeless Joe Jackson said he had no idea what he was getting into, had no understanding what was involved. And if you remember, in the end, they were found not guilty. But that didn't stop Major League Baseball, in this case, Commissioner Judge Landis, from banning those involved for life. So, in a sense, if baseball hands down a suspension, it could be a lifetime ban. Doesn't matter how this case turns out. Doesn't matter if Clase and Ortiz are found not guilty. But to me, the issue here is the fact you've got the attorney for Ortiz trying to essentially follow the strategy that was used in the 1919 Black Sox scandal court case to separate the two. In fact, according to the story in The Athletic, the attorney for Ortiz actually wants to serve as a prosecutor and take on Clase, wants Clase to take the witness stand so that he can examine him. It's not a good look for baseball, is what it comes down to. And you knew stuff like this was going to happen. You knew when it comes to gambling, you knew that at some point this stuff was going to happen. And I know these are allegations, but when you open up the sport to bettors, even though it's now legal to bet on games, you better be prepared for the fallout. You better be prepared for stories like this. And there you go. Here's who knows what else is out there. And it doesn't matter. And there are signs posted in every locker room. By the way, there were signs posted in every locker room when you couldn't legally bet on baseball that stated it is illegal to bet on baseball, illegal to be involved in impacting bets on baseball. The signs were posted everywhere, in locker rooms everywhere. And now it's legal to bet on baseball, and what's magnifying the situation even more is you've got these prop bets. Is he going to throw a curveball on 2-1? Wait a minute, he spikes the pitch with a fastball in the dirt? What's going on here? And that's a prop bet. And that's where Clase and Ortiz are allegedly involved. Again, they have claimed that they are not guilty in this, and that's very important. This has to be tried in court. All I am saying is, regardless of the outcome, it's a bad look for baseball, even though it is now legal to bet on baseball games, and you've got these prop bets on top of it. It's an issue which the sport, all sports, not just baseball, all sports, needs to address, because it's not just baseball. You've seen it in college basketball. You've seen it in some of the other sports where the impact isn't so much on the outcome of the game or by how many points a team has won or by how many runs a team has won. The issue is these prop bets. Is so-and-so going to rush for 100 yards? Is this quarterback going to throw 2 touchdown passes? Is that pitcher going to throw a fastball or a curveball on 2-1? Is the pitch going to be over the plate on 2-1, or is it going to be outside? Is it going to be in the dirt? The prop bets, that's the issue. And that is the issues, and that's the issue involving both Clase and Ortiz. And now you've got something going on here where the attorney for Ortiz is saying, I want the case separated from Clase's case. I want to even be able to cross-examine Clase. So it's taking on a dynamic that's not a good look for the sport, and not just baseball. It's not a good look for all sports, but it's the world in which we now live, the reality of the situation where there are bets not only on professional sports, college sports as well. Not a good look. And let me repeat, MLB was supposed to come down with some kind of discipline on these players beyond their suspension for the rest of last season by the time spring training started. And baseball hasn't done that yet. What's going to happen? Who knows? But again, understand, just as in the Black Sox scandal, just because a court rules one way doesn't mean Major League Baseball won't discipline another way. Watch this story. It's not going away anytime soon. That's going to do it for Dan on Sports. By the way, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and to my newsletter. And to do that, you can go to danonsports.com. See you later.